Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Ramp, episode 29, with Bossman. And you can see Bossman got his fishing hat on. We out of the whole Christmas. He still has he's still believing in Santa, but but I think because Bones had a crush on Taylor Silverman. It looks like Uncle Boss Man. He has the same thing going on. Yeah, yeah. She pretty good looking. Uh, and if y'all don't know Taylor Silverman's story, that's the skateboard. She was a pro skateboarder, and she talked about women's rights, and everybody canceled her. And I mean, she's been doing good now, but yeah, she just spoke up. She was tired of the uh, men and women's sports, especially in skateboarding. And yeah, that's her board. You see, it's got the justice. Uh, uh, it's got the skull with the blindfolded, and justice is blind. And anyway, cool little thing. Boss man, I'm glad you're here. I wasn't going to get on tonight, and I'm just going to rant, just talk about a few things, but validation, I don't know why it was on my mind a lot. And I think it had to do something with one of Sean Ryan's SRS show, one of his interviews, and it made me start thinking back on and seeing how validation and others can mess people up. And anyway, just something I wanted to talk about, Randall. But if you notice in the corner, our sponsor tonight, I'm going to go back to old school. Mr. Kraken Jigz, the first dude to say, "Hey, I'm sending you a little banner. I'm gonna get it situated. Um, we're gonna move the squirrel up. I'm still working on some other things for this studio, but anyway, Kraken Jigz, KRAKENJIGZ, and it's boat ramp 10 gets you 10% off. If you are a slow pitch jig person, understand he is a veteran. It's a veteran owned company, and all the proceeds go to veteran groups that he supports in the fishing industry. And anyway, yeah, so all our other sponsors are listed below. I want to remind everybody, if you didn't see this episode, Captain Deb Deo. That was a cool episode. I've been getting some things, some messages. Hey, y'all need to do another one, and we might in the future. She does have a mic and a camera at the house. So we're trying to figure that one out, but yeah, it was a good time. We did it at the marina outside, little mosquito action, but with um, just so I think it's till February something. Her code for Girls Fish Better, that's GFB Fishing, and it's girlsfishbetter.com. Is Captain Deb 25, gets you $49.95 off of the Obsession Series rods. These are actually high. I use the same blanks. Those were what it was designed after, blanks that I use for my high end rods. You're going to get them for $100. So, that excludes taxes and shipping if you're out of state. But anyway, yeah, Cap CAPT Deb DEB 25, because it was 2025. She was my first guest on. All right. So speaking of, we were outside mosquitoes. As always, my shout out, and I always will shout her out. Okeechobee Rustic Company, Miss Tammy, wonderful person. She has agreed once she gets better, she's gonna come on my podcast because I think she has a great story for you women, a story of perseverance and I mean, we've never met. We've just messaged back and forth, and but I've been following her before she started this, and she was funny to me. But anyway, go bug somebody else. I always carry this with me. It's mosquito spray, not oily. It smells good. It's got natural. It's all natural, and yeah, it works. No mosquito bites, and you ladies also. Um, I just ordered two new bottles of this, but Stinky Stompers. Both of these are listed below in the description at the bottom. Stinky Stompers. It works. I spray them in my boot before I put my feet in them. When I take my boots off, I spray them in there. Same thing with my shoes and everything. And I'm telling you, this stuff works. It's all natural. Smells good. It's uh, tea tree oil, peppermint oil, and lavender oil with a little bit of witch hazel. So just wanted to throw those up there. All our other sponsors and codes, where to find us. And I don't think I put it on there. If you want to support, it's $ Fish Vibes 23 is the Cash App. Um, anyway, so let's get into this is all gonna be random. I did bring because I haven't put them up yet. I wanted to talk about my new skateboards because I had to do it. Boonies HQ, Timcast IRL. If y'all don't watch his podcast, it's great. I watch it on my way to work. It's 8 to 10 at night, and I'm on at the same time. He's got millions of followers, hundreds of thousands watch, and it's just talk about the news, and which I may talk about that tonight because it's pretty funny, the farewell speech. And anyway, but I wanted to show the Boonies HQ. It's their skateboard company and skateboard park at their I'd say compound. Anyway, this one I thought was too funny. I had to buy it. I mean, I got the blue footed boobies. That is an actual bird, but they put it on a skateboard, and instead of boonies, they spelled it boobies. And I thought it was funny. Had to get it. This one is, I mean, it's very popular. Um, and it says right to arm bears, signed Sam. So this is a bear with a shotgun. Instead of right to bear arms, it's a right to arm bears. I thought it was great. That's hilarious. That's an awesome skateboard. And then he had Tim had um his name is Richie Jackson, pro skateboarder, does some phenomenal tricks. If you go follow Boonies HQ on Instagram, he's always doing tricks. They throw the videos up and some awesome videos. But he was on Timcast as one of the guests and hilarious. He's hilarious. I'd love to have him on. But he's from Australia. Anyway, this is his board, Richie Jackson. I thought it was pretty cool. Had to have, 1776 American flag up in the house. And anyway, those will be going up. Since I am Mr. Cabbageshack Artworks, I'm going to be doing an American flag out of wood that, you know, what I've learned in doing that is if you draw something pretty cool, I have some big tracing paper and I trace it back out because I do not want to draw that again if somebody wants it. I'm very I'm a I'm a visual drawer. I'm not that good, but I have to look at something in order to draw it out. And then my painting is just random. Like I don't know how it just happens when I try to fade some stuff and make this look this way. And yeah, it's just random. I got artwork from other people in here. Anyway, yeah. So they have a code because I have some funny t-shirts, fish a dent. You know, that's when you're driving to work and you see a body of water and your car swerves to go fishing. It's called a fish a dent. My buddy Clayton, and I know he ain't watching because he texted me that he limited out tonight fishing. So he's cleaning. Not really caring about what Warren's talking about, but Clayton, you got talked about tonight. Um, but anyway, he's the one that told me about the fish event. I thought it was hilarious. I do have let's zoom this out. I do have the boat ramp uh podcast t-shirts on there that you can order. Pretty cool, and hats. This is my other company. I have a new venture I started doing. Um, plus work my regular job and the rod company and all that. And you know, uh, it's a lot, but that keeps my mind um, focused. You know, the thing is, you know, they talk about you know Gen X and all that, and we didn't know. You know, there was never if somebody was hyper or mine just goes 90 miles an hour, we didn't call it nothing. You probably got your butt whooped and then you focused. Um, that's why there wasn't really ADHD. It was a belt giving you a whooping, and all of a sudden you just focused a whole lot better. You know, that was me because I figured out, hey, if I do what I need to do, I probably won't get a whooping. But it took me till about 12, 13 to figure that out, and I did. But to get into the validation, I'm just gonna play this one. I just found this one. This wasn't the reason why I wanted to talk about this. Um, this was just one from LL Cool J. That he was talking to Shay Shay on his thing, and I didn't listen to all of it, but at the beginning of it, it's exactly what I wanted to talk about, kind of. Anyway, here's this.
And being successful is to be self-validated. The validation comes when you validate yourself. You gotta have self-validation. You gotta be able to look in the mirror and say, I'm gonna go kick ass. I'm gonna get that job interview. I'm gonna take it to the next level. I'm gonna take my life and my career and elevate it. I believe in me. When you believe in you and you self-reference you, when you understand deep in your heart and in your soul that you're capable of going to the next level, you don't need no validation from nobody else. I don't walk in no rooms wishing that somebody would say something different. I'm who I am.
Yeah, he's 100% right. And the reason why I brought this up, I was listening to the SRS show, which you know, besides, I would love y'all to follow me a little bit more or get some more followers, share it. And that costs no money. Costs no money to like and share, especially on YouTube. It'd be nice to get that built up. But if I had I mean, far as news goes, it would be Timcast. They have a diverse range of people on there, and from libertarian to classic liberal to conservative. And they have great guests on, and basically they just talk about the news or pull clips that they want to talk about. And they get their clips from, um, I think it's Daily Mail. I think that's the main one. They pull it from there, so they can't be biased, and then they just discuss it, how they feel about it, and it's great. But if there's one I would recommend is the SRS show, Sean Ryan show. He's a ex Navy SEAL, um, and I haven't been following from day one. I think he's been doing this maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years. But the interviews he has had on in 2024 and starting right off is phenomenal and very um informative. Especially the one Sarah Adams that writes. You can sign up for his email. You get an intel thing every Monday. And she was so he had I know y'all all know Benghazi. If you hadn't seen 13 Hours, I watched it last night again for some reason, but it pissed me off again. But he interviewed Tonto, which was the guy in the movie that had shorts on, the Ranger in the movie that had shorts on. Um, and the one that did the Shaka hand is called something else. Where he learned in the interview, I learned where he learned it was somewhere else where it means that we're cool, and you can see Bossman's got the Shaka hand on, so he is cool over there. But anyway, Sarah Adams had left that day to go somewhere, and she I don't know if she came back. But anyway, she was over in Benghazi. She just wasn't there that day. She had a prior meeting or something, but she's an ex CIA targeter, which they find people to target. And her and one of the other guys that was on the roof fighting, Boone. Boone. Her and Boone have a Instagram page, and she has devoted her life and him too of going after Al Qaeda, the Taliban, and the things I've learned listening to her interviews when she come on. Sean will have her on every now and then to talk about the things going on, and that the little thing that happened in New Orleans, that's just the first thing that's going to happen this year. They are predicting, and I haven't watched this one. He just had a new one on called Jane Doe, which you don't know who she is. Her face is covered, but they are predicting 50 to 60,000 casualties in the United States this year when the green light is given from the Taliban. And the one thing's, I'm just saying, if you want to learn more about that, go look up Sarah Adams on the Sean Ryan show, and one he just put out today called Jane Doe. I haven't watched that one, but that one's going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm looking forward to that. That will probably be watched tomorrow. They are long form interviews. We're talking. That one is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I have watched one that was 5 hours, not in one sitting, but over, like 4 days, with ex Delta operators. Very interesting. So that gets to, I was watching, he was an ex-Navy SEAL. He was a SEAL Team 6 guy. And he kept bringing up a lot about validation, like when he would be doing something and he finally got validated by somebody else and he felt that validation and moved and it helped him move forward. And then it got me thinking how I grew up, how and I reflected back on, did I need validation, you know, like I know my daughter's not going to watch this. Just example with her is that she knew that anytime I could be, I would leave Orlando. I work for a company and I do my job good, that a company trusts me that if I need to go see my daughter in Moultrie, Georgia, I could leave. If she had a soccer game, home game, I would leave at noon, drive there. That was at least 4.5 hours, maybe. And I would go to the home game and I would get home at 2 in the morning and go back to work on Friday. I did this for a long time, but I did my job good enough where they trusted me. As long as my jobs were going smooth, they didn't care what I did. And anyway, I know she struggled with, I was there, but sometimes her mom couldn't be there because of football. And I could see it would take a toll on her. And but I reflected back on my life and looking back at baseball, I played football, but I didn't love it. We had some bad coaches, and I got hurt my sophomore year, and I was like, you know what? I'm better at baseball. I'm gonna concentrate on baseball. I'm not gonna get into all that, but I played some amateur stuff, and anyway. But what I look back on, I was discussing this with my dad. I knew my dad worked, and my mindset and how he taught us. My dad didn't come to a lot of my games. And I know there's kids out there that they get upset if the parent isn't there or to cheer them on and everything. Well, I guess my mindset then was, there's a whole stadium full of people cheering, and I never got upset because my dad was not there, because he was working to provide for the family. I don't know why my mind was like that, and I got to thinking back on that, and was that true? And I have to say yes, because I teased him the other day, but I teased him about the only time I was upset for a ball game. I knew my granddad was coming over, my grandmother and grandparents, or my grandparents were coming over, but they went out to eat. And by the time before, I think they were parking the car or I had already done it. I hit a home run, and I think I even got back to the dugout, and then I saw him walk in. And I'm like, the one time, you know, I could have said, you know what, I need to hit another one. But, that doesn't always happen. I'm not Babe Ruth. I'm not gonna call my shot. But yeah, I tease him about that all the time. That's what messed me up in my head, is because they didn't have my grandparents there to watch me hit a home run. I didn't lose no sleep on it over it. I think we went to the Sand Hills after the game. So anyway, I look back, and what I wanted to reflect on in this was self validation, and what LL Cool J was saying But I've listened to a lot of other people where, I mean, to me, it's sad to see when somebody is messed up, even in a relationship, that they don't get the validation that they need, and therefore it causes mental health problems. And I guess I've never been able to understand that, because my mind worked on, if I'm doing something, I'm doing just with the artwork, just with um, doing these rods. I have never. I started out building them because I wanted to fish. I wanted to build them for a captain, and say, "Hey, take me fishing. I'll build you a few rods for your charter visits." And they may say, "Hey, man, these have been great rods." Okay, that's good. It does not. If they didn't like it and if they never used it again, it wouldn't matter to me. I got to go fishing, and that's even with my artwork. I get, I'll send a video of it, because I'll do videos and stuff of it. Send it to, the tournament guy that I'm doing it for or whatever. And he's like, "Oh man, that's awesome." And I feel no way, uh, either way about it. I'm glad he liked it, because, and he's, would say the guys love it. And, you know, I also learned in construction. Um, how many here has ever heard of attaboys? Attaboys, man, that you did a great job, man. You are awesome, awesome, boss man. You're awesome, holding it down right there. But the one thing I learned it quick. You might get an attaboy, pat on the back, talked about, "Man, Warren's doing a great job," whatever. And then 2 weeks later, you mess up on one little thing, and they forgot all about those 20 other things you did great. And I learned real quick that, I mean, the company I'm with, I've been with them 8 years. And one year I got a Get Shit Done award. Get yeah, GSD, Get Shit Done. Yeah, GSD award. Got a watch, a nice one, a tag watch. But I'm like, they wanted me to come up to hand it to me. He said, you just get. I was like, okay, that's good. I feel no, I don't feel any way with it. Um, uh, and I don't know why that is. It's just I learned that this is all well and good, but if I screw up one time and it costs the company some money, they're going to forget about all that I've worked for and accomplished up till that point, and you get fired. And that's when, '09 helped wake my mind up that, man, I love working for who I work for, and it's more so I like working with the guys that work in the field. And um, in '09, you learned real quick that it didn't matter how loyal, how much overtime, or when they called you at 10, 11 o'clock at night, "Dude, can you get over here and knock this out? Because we got, owners coming, and this has got to be done before they get there at 7 o'clock in the morning." And you get up and you go do it. And then when '09 happened, they chose to lay me off versus an alcoholic that hadn't been there as long as I have. But they forgot about all the loyal times that I had done. And you find out real quick that you you find out that you get used a lot. And anyway, so yeah, so the self validation, the reason why I bring it up is that I see so many people, well, and social media today, you know, if you don't get the likes and all, and you don't get the comments, and you don't, i- uh, I mean, it really messes people up. You know, I do some videos, and I think they're cool videos, and it might get 50 views, and then I put it on another social media platform, and they get 3,000 views, and I'm going, what the crap? But at the end of the day, I go to sleep and I don't think about it. And you know, the only validation that you should, even in a relationship, and they always say, if you're not happy with yourself, that your relationship will never be happy. You can work your tail off to make that relationship work, but in the end, it's not going to work out. You're going to be miserable at some point if you haven't became true to yourself and know yourself, like he said, and that if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're not going to be comfortable with anybody else. If you do not have your, you know, if you got issues and you bring those issues into a relationship, guess what? Those issues are going to pop up at some point. And so, you know, this is just a recommendation of reflecting back, or reflecting on who you are right now, and that, you know, um, looking inside, or you know, when you do something, if you're happy with it, that's all that matters. If somebody else becomes happy with it, that's great. Like to me, I did this turtle on this rosewood that I think is one of the coolest drawings and paintings, because I do wood burning and then I'll paint and then burn it some more. But it's one of the coolest ones I think that I've done. I put it up for sale on the Cabbageshack Artworks site. I have not got any hits, but guess what? I still think it's cool as crap. You know, you know, I'm happy with when I finish a project. If I'm happy with it, I really don't care what anybody thinks. And I will say this didn't happen overnight. That you know, you got to have somewhat of a don't care attitude, because people are just, you know, people are mean. Some people, but you know, I just you know, it was just something that I wanted to talk about tonight, and that, you know, maybe it helps somebody, but really, you have to look at um, being happy with anything you do, um, and you know, it's my one box at a time theory. Anything that's going on with you, if you do something, one little thing that you like, build on that. Then then the next time you might do 2 things, and then you stack them boxes. And, when just like today, it's so funny, I have, I don't know if y'all seen these, Yappy bracelets. It's no app, no, doesn't cost anything except for the bracelet. You can find them, um, on TikTok Shop, or on Amazon, anywhere from $14 to $8. Anyway, you open your phone, you tap it, and it pops up a Bible verse every day. So today, I had to go get tires. Um, all of a sudden, my front tires, I had aggressive mud tires on them. Probably, I mean, just big enough for. I mean, probably the biggest size without jacking my truck up that you can get for that truck. And anyway, they did something crazy Monday. And I told my friend about it, and he was like, "Man, something else is going on with your truck if it did that." I was like, "Nah." Then my dad said the same thing, and I was like, So I get there, they put it on the rack, and I'm standing outside, and the guy comes over to me. I said, "Let me guess, something's wrong." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Your ball joints and your struts are messed up." So the main guy came over there, and he said, "Well, we can tighten up the struts for right now, but you're gonna have to get them replaced." He said, "Hey man, how many miles you got on that truck?" I said, 267,000. He goes, "Dude, you were supposed to put 3 sets of struts on this already." I didn't know that. Every 90,000 miles, you're supposed to put struts on, new struts. I'm type, if it ain't broken, I ain't fixing it. So anyway, so so I'm sitting there. I just had to get new tires. Excuse me. And then I went in. She was working up a price for the struts and ball joints and the whole alignment, all that. I said, "Well, break with bad news to me." She said, $1,600. I went, "Oh my gosh." And then I got to pay some big stuff out. That's not part of my normal stuff I got to pay. And I tapped the Yappy, and it said, let me see. I kept the verse up. um, and this is a lot of reasons why I don't um, get upset about anything, because I have self validation, and I know who I am, and I know that I'm a child of God's, and that's pretty much all the validation I need. Even though I suck at it, but He still loves me. Let me see. Do I still have the Yappy? Uh, Hold on. We're gonna test it out now. Oh, there we go. Pop right up. So today was First Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Well, I casted them, and then I forgot all about it. And what was funny, if you don't know, when your truck tires chop, your truck's gonna vibrate and stuff while you're driving, and until you get to a certain speed, it kind of smooths out a little bit. But on the way over, about an hour away, that was probably the smoothest ride I've had in 3 weeks. I mean, no shimmy, no nothing. And I was like, you know what? That ain't God. That's the devil trying to tell me that the truck is smooth and you don't need no tires. And I was like, yeah, I don't get them tires and my tire just fall off. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. That's how my mind works. But anyway, so that happened today, and um, you know, I don't worry about it because you know, um, things happen, and you have to deal with those situations one box at a time. I had the tires. I had that box already stacked. This came up, and I was like, "How am I going to pay for this?" And then I saw a way, and I was like, "Go ahead and schedule me. Here's that box." And just stuff that happens. I call it one box at a time. If one of my episodes I talked about working for UPS, loading the big tractor trailers when I lived in outside of Birmingham. And I'll just tell you real quick, when 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 you first start, they sit you down, you watch this film on how to stack boxes. And it is you stack it like bricks. So you lay your foundation run, and you're picking boxes, and you try to pick the ones that are almost the same. And then you start stacking the other boxes. And so you got two boxes, you stack the next one, you put the middle of that box in the middle of the two that butt together. So it's like a brick wall. You get up so high, then you start putting smaller packages behind it until you fill that up, and then you stack all the way to the ceiling, and you wedge. I'm telling y'all, when your boxes are crushed or what, you wedge up smaller ones so that wall doesn't fall. You got to wedge it in there. Anyway, that's fine watching that film, but when you start when the next day or that night after you watch that film, that's when reality hits you in the face on how this all works. And you have all these conveyor belts with packages coming down them, and there's trailers, and you get um, you get trailers assigned to you. You may have a Florida trailer, Georgia trailer, um, um, Mississippi trailer, and they'll call. So those conveyor belts are running. When the boxes start backing up and falling off the conveyor, they'll call you to that trailer. Well, you walk in, and those boxes are just scattered. In your mind, you're panicking like, because you have 20 days, no, 30 days. Now, this was back in 90. When was that? 90, when we move up there, 92, maybe 92, 93. I did this. Anyway, back then, uh, you walk in and all these things are scattered everywhere, and you panic, and I mean, you're just going, you're trying to stack boxes, and you're just panicking. And I had this one black dude, been there for a long time. He come in there to help me, and he said, "Look, man, one box at a time. Don't look at that conveyor belt. One box at a time. If you concentrate on that, next thing you know, you done stacked it, and your conveyor's empty." He said, "They'll keep coming, but then you can move on to the next trailer, one box at a time." And I tried, the older I've got, I've tried to implement that in my life. Something happens, you start with one thing to try to solve that, and you stack that box. Once you get that solved, then you go to this thing, and you grab that one, and you stack that one. And same, because you, not all the time can you solve a problem all at one time. So that's my one box at a time theory. Um, I thought about writing down, a thing on that, and how to implement it in your struggles, or with anything you do. How it would be, that mindset would be useful, and I may still do that. I've always thought about that, and how I could make it into a thing that could help people out. But anyway, that's my one box at a time theory. Um, I think that's it. I mean, I've been going 45 minutes of talking crap. Um, but the one thing, if anybody out there knows a forest ranger that's retired, or a forester that's retired, or somebody that's in there now, I'd love to have them on, talk about their story, and talk about how to manage land, and doing control burns and all that. I just With the California fires, I think it'd be interesting to hear from somebody that is an expert on the controlled burns. Because I know in Naples, when I was down there from '06 to '08 working, that there was a lot of wildfires that broke out, and they have this whole team in Collier County, the fire department, dedicated just for wildfires. And anyway, it'd just be interesting to hear why you need control burns. I mean, common sense would tell you, but I'd like to have an expert because I could tell you what I think, and I'd rather have somebody that knows what they're talking about. But if y'all know anybody, please send me a message, and I want to reach out to them and see if I can get them on a Tuesday or Thursday night and talk about it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I do have a guest. We're supposed to talk tomorrow to figure out what day. But I think it's going to be a very cool interview. I think she has a good story, and I can't give you a hint of that one yet. But she is local to this county, and I think it'd just be a cool story, especially what her occupation is. And yeah, we're supposed to talk tomorrow, and once we figure out what night that we're going to do it, I will let you know. We may do a pre-record, and then I announce when it's going to air. But anyway, yeah, that's hopefully coming up next week, maybe the week after. I do have a guy that I'm gonna text tomorrow that is um has a company that helps corporations. Basically, it's kind of like I call Dale Carnegie wrote a book a long time ago called "How to Win Friends and Influence People," and it is I don't know how his works, but it's how to be a better person at work and working with other people, and leadership um, program that company that he has. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been a cop. I also reached out to a Popo friend of mine that was in Fort Lauderdale during the cocaine cowboy era. Um, as a cop, he retired, I think, from either he eventually left there and moved to Gainesville, and I don't know if he retired from Jacksonville or the Gainesville department. Um, but that's why I want him on. He does tactical training also. I think it'd be a pretty cool story. He's probably got some good ones. Still waiting on my Colombian guy. He's 79. I bought my John boat from him, and we got to talking. He's got stories like crazy, and he wants to tell me a story that might be a 2 or 3 parter. That might be a 2 3 hour long conversation because he has so many stories. And yeah, he came from Colombia legally, and I know he mentioned his dad was a vet there and became a vet here. And they've been, him and his wife both are from Colombia, and they've been in the Miami school district all their life. I think she still works, and she was at one point principal of the year for the whole state. But anyway, he's got a cool one. I'm just waiting for him to come up to his house up here in Lake Placid, where we can sit down and have this conversation. Got a few more, and I might again, depends on what's going on. I may jump on again on a Tuesday and Thursday if I don't have a guest. But my main thing I want to do is I don't want to come on without having a guest on Tuesday and Thursdays, because that's about. And you know, if you know anyone that's interested in interning and helping me out with booking, booking guests for me, that would be great. Um, just message me. Like I said again, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short. But I appreciate those of y'all that listen or will listen later. Uh, this is just it's just random thoughts. I just want to. I don't know why. I just thought about self validation and that more people need to try that and not worry what people think. Or you keep your circle, people say keep your circle small. Um, there's a reason for that because if you think you got to have somebody in your circle or in your life that if as long as they're there they bring you peace, well then you you you're in a bad place. You need to make sure you're happy with you and that you bring yourself peace before you bring people into that circle. Because everything comes to the surface, whether you want to or not. Eventually, issues will come to the surface. And then, are you going to have that friend or that relationship when it does come to the surface? So, if you work on the under the surface stuff first, in yourself and be happy with yourself, then it'll make it easier for your relationships, whether it's friends or um, you, you know uh, dating or marriage or just anything. That under the surface stuff is what ends up coming out in a relationship that could end that relationship. Uh, no matter what kind of relationship it is. And I could have got into politics in our president's farewell speech, which I mean started off with a lie, in the middle was a lie. I mean, I can prove every bit of that. I just think it was funny to he had a lot of self validating points that he thought were true and they're not, and yeah. Anyway, but that's who he's always been for 50 something years. um, anyway, appreciate y'all taking the time to listen. Um, and we'll definitely be back tomorrow night. The Friday night thing is not going away, whether it's with Dan the Man or Bossman. I don't know yet. Y'all pray for Dan the Man. Or pray for his brother. His brother had a heart attack. I think Monday. He is home now. Also, Miss Tammy, little praise on the Okeechobee Rustic Company before we end. That I know I'd probably mentioned it before that she had been trying to get in to get a biopsy and all that. Finally did, and the biopsy came back benign, which was great news, but they still don't know what that lump is. And it's, like compressing on her vocal cords, which, she um, makes her have a hoarse, her voice is hoarse. And she's been having a friend help her with filling orders. I just ordered some new laundry soap and Stinky Stompers. So anyway, y'all just keep her in your prayers too. And Dan the Man's brother, Mike. Y'all just keep them in your prayers for quick recoveries. And yeah, once Miss Tammy gets better, she's coming on the podcast. And I'm telling y'all gonna like her story. Just I've gotten tidbits of it, and I think it's very interesting. And anyway, just so you know, I think Monday I'm off. Uh, that's MLK. I mean, our company does the MLK thing, but I heard rumor is TikTok is shutting down completely on Monday. So all you influencers that had the big stuff, whew, I don't know what y'all gonna do now. You know, I had a good little bit, but nothing where I get paid for it. But like I said, I won't lose any sleep over it. But also, girls, GFB Fishing, working on some things that, and if you're interested, shoot me a DM. Tomorrow I'm working on getting it separated from the corporation to be by itself, and it's probably going to be sold. So if you're interested, hit me up. Um, there's a lot of session series rods. Don't forget Cap Deb, CAPTDEB 25 gets you the session rods for $100 each. And there's a crankbait, a mag bass, and a spinning. And spinning was made out of saltwater blank that is good for fresh or salt. And they've caught some big fish. I've had some girls send me pictures of some big fish that they've caught with that spinning rod. Um, anyway, that's it for tonight. Appreciate y'all. Talk to you later. And we are out.